y'all know, he's like super fantastic at Halloween. That's like his jam. He's really good at all things Halloween, so much so that he got a little bit bored with Halloween.
Spoiler alert.
Huh?
Wow.
No, the thing is, I never watched the movie, but there's a game with him on it, and it tells the story on it as well.
Yeah, you're gonna.
So I know
yeah,
who it is.
It is definitely a spoiler alert. If you haven't seen it, you're about to know a lot about it. You're gonna see the ending before the day is over. Okay, so we were made to shine, and that's our first point. We have a little bit there on Ephesians 2:10. We've been talking about Ephesians in Sunday school, and so there's actually a verse that goes with it. You should probably memorize it. Does anyone want to read that for us?
Could someone get me like a Bible or something?
No, we found it.
It's
Okay,
on
I
the
got
page.
it.
Yeah.
For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for the good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them.
All right, so we were created as God's workmanship, and that also in some versions of the Bible it says masterpiece. You were, if God was an artist, you would be his masterpiece, and I kind of love that as an art kid. That makes me happy because I know when I paint something, I'm really, oh, I'm so proud of this. This is awesome. Not all the time, but we were like the awesome things that he was so proud of to paint. And we are we're made for good works. And so we have Jack here, and he was created basically to be the Pumpkin King, and that's what he was really good at. But the movie does take a twist, and so let's watch the twist. All right, so we have Jack, and he's made it to Christmas Town, but it's not necessarily a bad place, Christmas Town. I mean, everyone likes Christmas Town. There's presents and cool stuff and neat things and stuff. But it was not what he was created for. He is kind of wandering. And that is a lot like us as Christians. Sometimes we tend to wander. And so, in Luke 15, verses 11 through 19, will someone read those for me? They're this middle section right here. Anybody want to read it?
Someone give me a Bible.
It's on
It's in here, Birdie.
I know how I said that. Which one is it?
The middle bit there, 11, 15, it'll be verses 11 through 19.
And he said, there was a man who had 2 sons, and the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the share of my property that is coming to me. And he divided his property between them. Not many days later, the younger son gathered all he had and took a journey into a far country. And there he squandered his property in reckless living. And when he had spent everything, a severe famine. A severe famine arose in that country, and he began to be in need. So he went and hired himself out to one of the citizens of that country, who sent him into his fields to feed pigs. And when he was longing to be fed with the pods that the pigs ate, and no one gave him anything. But when he came to himself, he said, How many of my father's hired servants have more than enough bread, but I perish here with hunger? I will arise and go to my father, and I'll say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you.
All right, so we have this 2 sons. The younger son says, I just want all my money now. I'm going to go and do my own thing. And so he takes his money, and he takes what is coming to him, and he recklessly loses it all. Now, as Jews, pigs were considered an unclean thing. It was not cool at all. You didn't want to hang out with them. You didn't want to touch them. You didn't want to eat them. Like, you just didn't do that at all. And so when he was in the fields, and that was his job now to feed the pigs, that was like lower than low. That's the worst job. And then to look at those lower than low things and think, oh man, if only I could eat what they were eating because I am so hungry. That's really, I mean, have you ever fed your dog and you're like, I'm so jealous of what my dog is eating right now?
No.
Okay, so like,
I'm kind of on a diet.
you're like, no thanks, I'm vegetarian. And so he's in this lower than low spot where he's looking at these animals thinking, oh man, if I could just eat that. And so he comes to the point to where he says, I'm going to go home and I'm going to beg my dad for forgiveness, and maybe, just maybe, he'll let me be his slave. Okay, and so he's gone and he's done the thing. If you watch the whole movie, you see that Jack, when he tries to do the Christmas thing, it doesn't work out well for him. He ends up scaring the little children of Christmas Town with some really sketchy presents.
Are we gonna watch that part?
We're not. We're gonna skip over that part, but because we'll watch your favorite part, so don't worry. And so it doesn't work out well for him, just much like this. And so we are all prone to wonder at some point. We're gonna walk away thinking that whatever is better. What are things that we wonder to as teenagers or adults? What are things that kind of take you away from Christ?
Friends.
Friends, drugs, great answer. What else?
Drugs.
Things that take you away from Christ.
Sports.
Sports.
Alcohol.
Yeah, it can be just like you know how like Christmas Town wasn't necessarily a bad thing. Work can be one of those things. Band
Oh,
can be one of those things.
relationships.
School.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bad.
relationships. Oh, that one's the worst. I hate those. All of those things can drag us away from Christ. It is so easy. There is a million and one things that could drag you. I mean, it could be marshmallows. You could develop a marshmallow addiction that you don't ever want to stop eating marshmallows, and so you just stay at home.
Every day
You
you
don't
have to
read. You just eat
That's
marshmallows.
hell.
It really, it could there are so many shiny objects that we could chase that would lead us away from Christ. Oh, that is one of the biggest ones, Matt. Okay. Son. Explain. Reckless living. Okay, yeah. On his when he was reckless living, he like basically went and blew all his money on bad stuff.
What
Let's
does
just
bad stuff mean?
yeah. In some of the versions that
Ladies
I've
of the Night.
read, it did lead to ladies of the night. But this is a parable that Jesus was telling. It wasn't a true story. He was trying to make a point. Okay, so 11 verses 20 through 24.
What are you doing?
Oh, we're gonna watch the final section after.
Wait, which favorite section?
Oh, I wanna read.
Just hold on. Let's read. Go ahead. The last bit there.
I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Treat me as one of your hired servants. And he rose and came to his father. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and felt compassion and ran and embraced him and kissed him. And the son said to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. But the father said to his servants, Bring quickly the best robe and put it on him, and put a ring on his finger and the shoes on his feet, and bring the fattened calf and kill it, and let us eat and celebrate. For this my son was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found, and they began to celebrate.
All right. So this guy went home and he's like, man, I'm just gonna ask to be a slave, a servant, anything that I can. Just want to go back. And he doesn't even get all the way to the property, and the dad sees him, and he runs after him. Oh, there is my son. There he is. And so the son goes into oh man, I'm dirt. I'm so low. I've sinned. I messed up. He is very repentant of what he has done, but he doesn't even get through the whole thing. And the father is putting shoes on his feet, a cloak on his back, a ring on his finger. Now that shoes on his feet, if you were a slave, you didn't get sandals. And so that was a big deal. The ring on the finger, that's like you're back in the family. Like that's a huge deal. He's saying you're not going to be my slave. You're not going to be my servant. You're restored just to what you were before. We are so excited that you are home. And he's telling everybody. He said, we're going to kill a cow. We're going to have a big party. Big party. And so in the movie, Jack does the same thing. He goes and he does the Christmas thing, and it doesn't work out well, and he realizes, I'm the pumpkin king. I was made for a purpose to be the pumpkin king. Yeah, my struggle is real, but here's your favorite one.
My first favorite was between the Pokemon scene and then Sally's song, because I really like the where it goes. I really like.
And people be like, I like the beat to the song.
I love the way it sounds.
Alright,
We
so
have to watch those two clips.
I don't have those others downloaded.
We don't have the whole song.
No.
Dude, you can hear the wind
I
outside.
know, it's been that way all day. Okay, so when Jack got back to Halloween Town, did someone go, oh, you can't come back here, you try to be Santa?
No,
Everybody was
they were
They
happy.
were like, oh my gosh,
They
Jack's
both came back with open arms.
open arms. And that's kind of the point in the parable of the
That's
big
a new thing.
skillet.
Welcome back, Caitlin.
Welcome back, Matt.
That's a new thing.
Alright,
You
so
say, what's up?
What's up, baby?
Every time you see somebody, you just, hey, like extend your arm.
welcome back!
Hey, Stephanie.
Caitlin walks in, like next Wednesday, Caitlin!
I feel like when I walk in the bank on Friday, it's gonna be super awkward.
What?
Everyone going, hey!
Hey.
Everybody else going,
I'll run up and just,
as long as you don't have poison ivy by then. Anyways, that is how God welcomes us back. Anytime that we go away and then we are repentant because we wandered away and we come back to Him, He is open arms. He's not like, oh, you can't come here. He doesn't strike you when you walk back into the church with lightning. Like He is legit just happy to see you again. And that's how we need to be as a church, because at some point, someone may wander from our group. They may come back. Yeah, we got kids in the hallway. But we always need to make sure, with just a couple more minutes, we always need to make sure that we are open arms whenever someone comes back. Because that's what Jesus would want us to do. That's why He wrote the parable. And we need to help others that have wandered away, maybe from Christ or whatever. We need to help them get back to where they're supposed to be, so that they can be the best version of them that they can be. Just like Jack was best when he was in Halloween Town, because that's what he was made for. As a group, we were created with a purpose to be in unity with each other and sharing the gospel with our community. And so, anyways. If someone would like to pray for us, we can be done for tonight. Keandra, you should always pray for us. Will you pray us out, sir?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Dear Father, thank you for this day. Thank you, Lord, for everyone that was able to come tonight and hear your words and your message. I pray for this whole entire week and that like everyone can accept everyone with open arms and just show the light that you've given us to show to everyone else, especially ones that have been in darkness. And also I pray that everyone just have a good rest of the week as well. A bunch of things coming up for school and just being prepared for it and just going out for the day and just knowing that they're going to have great success in it.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir. Thank you, guys.
There you go. Hey, I'll bring your siblings some popcorn.
Oh, I wrote on these. We need to get rid of it. He's just giving it back.
We need to get rid of it.
You don't have to give them back. You can just throw them away. Or you can keep them.
Matt.
Caitlin.
Alright, don't forget Saturday is a thing here at the church at 10.
Oh my goodness, Gracie.